The Mastery of Life, a program highlighting human achievement through science, philosophy, and the arts. Are you one of those few persons out of every 1,000 human beings who realize that there must be a better system of living, a freedom from the ordinary humdrum existence? Are you looking for a practical yet simple process of mastering your particular difficulties of life and willing to give a few minutes each day to the study of those laws which will bring about this long sought for condition of happiness? The Mastery of Life is presented by the Rosicrucian Order AMORC of San Jose, California, a philosophical fraternity whose traditional teachings and unique science of living has enabled thousands to live in harmony with the creative, constructive forces of the universe and to attain health, happiness, and peace now in their daily lives.
There are no mysteries in life except those which fear, prejudice, and ignorance keep men from understanding.
A government geologist recently expressed a belief that Washington State's Mount St. Helens may someday erupt again. Dr. William Pecora, director of the U.S. Geological Survey, said the 9,600-foot snow-capped mountain was part of a chain of dormant volcanoes in Washington, Oregon, and California, which could come to life any time. In particular, Mount St. Helens, located about 40 miles south of Portland and 70 miles south of Seattle, is of greatest concern to geologists. Dr. Pecora notes that monitoring of volcanoes through use of infrared sensors to measure the hotspots could give early warning of possible eruptions. He noted that volcanoes of the Cascade chain in the three coastal states differ greatly from the Hawaiian type. Instead of erupting in a flow of lava, continental volcanoes are believed to be more likely to explode violently. Pecora said that such an explosion may not come for 100 or 200 years, but at present there is no system which could give us warning. He called for future planning of population centers to avoid major danger areas. The sound of time, a gauge in the race for technical supremacy, a concept that has long evaded exact definition, but has been both cursed and blessed by philosophers and poets through the course of history. With the passage of time, man is ever becoming, projecting into the future for technical advances, turning to the past for cultural and moral strength, and those concepts that have withstood its passage. Do you have the urge to truly master your life? Time is a great crucible in which all things change. Everything in the universe is in a state of evolution or devolution, according to its cyclic periodicity. Just so, man, with his understanding and comprehension, evolves, and as he becomes intelligent and worthy, more and more of the manifold laws of the universe are unfolded and revealed to him. For the most part, these laws are revealed only to him who seeks. The seekers are thinking men and women. In these times, more and more people are inclined to serious thought. With the daily changes taking place, and with the established value of things seemingly changing, there appears to be no one thing that is permanent or sure and worthy of being the old solid rock to which we have clung for safety and security. The times in which we live, regardless of what they may be, have at least one beneficial effect, and that is to make people think. And when men and women begin to think, especially for themselves, the general tone of their lives is raised to where they are either intentionally or inadvertently setting into motion requisites for the acquirement of knowledge upon which their lives and environment may be stabilized. When man comes to understand himself, he's found the rock, the very foundation for material and spiritual values. This is something upon which he can stand, upon which he can build, not just for the present, but for the future. And we may rest assured that in time, as conditions and values rise and fall, this foundation will remain adamant and eternal. We who are sincere in our search feel that with our knowledge of major philosophies, our knowledge from scientific research, we are individually placing a stone in the foundation upon which the future culture of man can build its superstructure. It's been truly said that the problems that confront one nation or people are never any greater than those which confront the individuals composing that nation or country. The peace and happiness of any community or country is dependent upon the peace and happiness and personal achievement of its individuals. Sooner or later, every man and every woman learns that he or she has what we might call a rendezvous with destiny. We may look well into this life, for it is the only life that we have to be concerned with right now. It's upon thought, aspiration, inspiration that this life depends, and any evolution or future that we may have. Instead of worrying about what we have done in the past, we should pay more attention to what we do and say and think right now. Do you look forward to your future years with enthusiasm and great anticipation? Have you good health? Are you experiencing the kind of life that you truly desire? Have you recognized your shortcomings and limitations? Have you been able to do something about them? If one is to stand upon the firm rock of personal security and human dignity, he must achieve what we refer to as the mastery of life. The real mastery of life comes in surmounting and mitigating environment and circumstances and the problems found therein whenever they arise. One masters life by knowing what to do about these things. In self-mastery, one comes to have an understanding of himself. He comes to understand himself and in turn has an understanding of other people and their problems. The mastery of one's life brings harmony into it. There's a balance of the material and the spiritual. This balance comes about only through one's own efforts. One cannot allow himself to become too spiritually minded or too materialistic. One cannot afford to live in the abstract and neglect the material side. We should not only include the maintaining of good health, but a necessary and honorable livelihood. And in this balance there must be compassion for one's fellow man. We live a life of moderation without becoming recluse or hermit. One must not allow his personal philosophy to exclude him from the problems of the day or association with people around him. Sooner or later, each and every one is subject to the urge to lend his shoulder to the conquest of self by the self. Complete self-mastery is the result of the effect which you yourself have instituted. For every effect, there is a cause. For every act, there is a result. It's what you think and do today that makes you what you are tomorrow, next month, or next year. We will come to that turning point in our lives where we have that certain knowledge, that knowledge which is so valuable because it not only helps the individual to understand himself, but helps him to understand others. Knowledge of self brings mastery of self. We become prepared to take life calmly and philosophically. We come to have a different sense of values. We cease being the cynic who knows too much and not enough, who sees what is wrong with the world but not with himself. The key that will unlock the door to finding yourself, to creating self-mastery and solving your problems, is not held by any person or group of persons. No one holds it. But there is such a key, and that key is within yourself. You are imbued with intellectual knowledge. You perhaps are in need of developing a sense of direction. Knowledge is useless to the person who does not use it, and by the same token, any philosophy is worthless unless it's practical and can be used every day. Everyone who needs to achieve a sense of direction and purpose, the right philosophy can help establish this. As you achieve self-mastery, you overcome your limitations and establish new progress in your life. There should be no indolence of mind. One must actively be engaged in working toward the achievement he desires and seeks, and this should be self-mastery. We've mentioned the natural and universal laws, these forces and powers unseen around and within you. With an understanding of them, you can have mastery of life. You can achieve you can have happiness. Happiness to be realized must be created. It's not some elusive material entity that can be captured. You've been endowed with material of which happiness is composed, and within your very being has been instilled something like a voice which can guide you, and it's only waiting for you to awaken it. This is not truly an abstraction. It is something which you can come to know and use. Its use will help you to find yourself. It functions in accordance with known laws. Everything worthwhile in life functions in accordance with the universal law. There is no greater thrill than exploring the nature of yourself and the universe in which you live. There's no greater confidence than that which is born of understanding. There's no greater power by which you can achieve that which arises from the constructive use of your knowledge and understanding, knowledge which will make possible self-mastery for yourself, knowledge which will help you to shape your own destiny and to truly be master of your own life. Next week, at this time, The Mastery of Life will present another interesting discussion on a topic designed to make you think and to help you to a better understanding of the meaning of life. A visit to Rosicrucian Park at San Jose, California, will offer countless examples of the magnificence of ancient Egyptian culture and the very foundation stones of our Western civilization. The Rosicrucians are a fraternal order, a body of progressive men and women interested in exhausting the possibilities of life by a sane and sensible use of their heritage of esoteric knowledge and the faculties which they possess as human beings. Today, the Rosicrucian Order AMORC has lodges and fraternal temples throughout the entire civilized world. In beautiful Rosicrucian Park in San Jose, California, the Order maintains a research library, science laboratories, physical science museum, and extensive administration buildings. Its Egyptian Oriental Museum, offered as a cultural contribution to the public, houses the largest collection of original Egyptian and Babylonian antiquities in the western United States. The museum, as well as the art gallery, science museum, and planetarium, are visited by thousands of school children, college students, and the general public annually. You are invited to join them in touring these harmonious and interesting surroundings. And remember to send for your free copy of the book, The Mastery of Life. Send for it in care of this station.